Right now at 10, Joplin's National Guard Armory gets a new name to honor a fallen Guard member. Plus, we're heading to Webb City for the Shop Hop. Also, we'll tell you about a Joplin business helping you decorate your Easter eggs in a unique way. And Russian forces launching a series of new attacks across Ukraine. You're watching the KOAM News at 10, and it starts right now. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Chris Warner. A Missouri National Guard member who was killed overseas is being recognized right here in the 4 states for his bravery and sacrifice. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky joins us live in the studio with more.
Chris, the National Guard, like many other armed forces, are a family. When something happens to one member of that family, everyone steps in. Here in Joplin, Sergeant Robert Wayne Crow Jr. is being honored by the National Guard, his family, and the Joplin community.
The right thing to do is to name this for a true American hero. The right thing to do is to name it for someone who was and is the heart and soul of this battalion.
Missouri's National Guard Armory in Joplin is doing just that and being renamed in honor of Sergeant Robert Wayne Crow Jr. Sergeant Crow was killed in Afghanistan in July of 2010 after his vehicle hit an improvised explosive device. National Guard members traveled from all over Missouri to attend the renaming ceremony, even members from South Dakota.
We've got to honor him and the sacrifice that he made. And so myself and a lot of people worked very hard putting together the packet, putting together the proposal to rename this armory in his honor.
We were memorializing one of our own, Sergeant Robert Wayne Crow Jr., naming this building in his honor for his ultimate sacrifice to defend our freedom.
When discussing defending freedom, Major General Levon Compton quoted Ronald Reagan, saying that Sergeant Crow died defending freedom, something so fragile that it's never more than a generation away from extinction.
Freedom's fragile, and we have to fight for it every day. Naming this armory in the name of Sergeant Crow helps us remember that, understand that, never forget it, and be willing to fight for our freedom and preserve it generation after generation.
Those who knew Crow say he always made sure others were taken care of.
I wish more people could have had a chance to meet the guy. He kind of acted like the platoon's dad. He'd go around at night, make sure everyone was good, they didn't need anything, and he was just always there.
The National Guard and any armed forces are a family. Sergeant Crow's blood-related family was there to honor him, and his National Guard family was right behind them to assist.
Certainly an incredible event to be able to take part in, and I'm sure his family was just thrilled with all of this. And with the National Guard, you mentioned it was a family. What was that like while you were there? You know, there were so many people. It was incredible just seeing so many people come out, support. You know, maybe they don't know this person, not everyone knew this person, you know, personally, but they're still connected to them. And just seeing that really showed that it really is a family. And it was very special to be there. I'm very thankful that they allowed me to be there. Again, it's certainly an incredible story and a great honor. Bronte, thank you so much. It was an absolutely gorgeous day, but there may be a few changes on the way. Nick Kelly joining us.
Yeah, once we got past the cool start this morning, Chris, we thankfully saw temperatures turn back into mild territory once again. After a low of 47, we topped out at 65. Right about where we should be for this point in the month of April, early in the month of April. We've had nothing but clear skies all day long after we had a quick wave with some showers and a couple of storms late last night and before sunrise this morning. But we do have this area of high pressure right on top of the region, but as that slides out toward the east, that will allow our next cold front to the north and west to head our way by either late tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening, whichever one comes first. In the meantime, though, temperatures kind of cool, but not terrible. Upper 40s to lower 50s across the board. I think that with a returning southeast breeze as the high moves along, we'll only drop back into the lower to middle 40s, Joplin around 44. And despite increasing clouds and maybe a few stray storms late in the afternoon, Chris, I think that south wind gusting to 25 at times will push us into the lower 70s tomorrow. We'll see how the incoming rain chances will play out as we start the new week ahead here in a bit.
Nick, thank you so much. Webb City having their annual spring shop hop. Now what this does is it allows local vendors to come out and sell their goods. The event also hosted several food trucks, local boutiques, and then there were a number of items like trinkets, soaps, and whatever you could imagine. Businesses are able to collaborate, and this gives vendors and upstart businesses opportunities to get their name out there.
So they're super beneficial. For me personally, I've just been here for 4 months and I've seen tons of new faces that I haven't seen before that didn't know that I was here, and lots of the other shops as well.
Today marked the second and last day of the event. Well, Easter just around the corner, so of course that calls for some decorations, and Color Me Rad in Joplin hosting its first ever workshop. Now, kids were able to come in and paint eggs in a black light room, painting eggs that these ones, they're gonna be able to glow in the dark. Of course, each kid was able to decorate a total of 6 eggs, and they had the opportunity to take them home.
They love the blacklight room. They love the glowing paints. As soon as they walk in there, the first thing we hear is, wow! And then to see it on the eggs actually like glowing, it really pops. And they just love the way that that comes out.
You can find Color Me Rad at 3120 South Main Street in Joplin. In Ukraine, Saturday, Russian forces launching a series of new attacks across the country. This as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is giving an update on Russian troop movements and as the U.S. pledges more support in military aid to Ukraine. Cole Higgins has the latest, and we want to warn you, some of this video is graphic.
Gunfire and explosions disperse a crowd of peaceful protesters in Russian-held Energodar Saturday, and disturbing video from outside Kyiv. Bodies are strewn across the streets of Bucha, a village on the outskirts of the Ukrainian capital. After about 5 weeks of near constant fighting, Ukrainians have retaken the town from retreating Russians.
The withdrawal is slow but noticeable. Somewhere they are expelled with battles, somewhere they leave positions on their own.
More welcome news for the Ukrainian people. More than 4,000 civilians were evacuated on Saturday, including more than 1,000 from the besieged southeastern city of Mariupol. And satellite images show Russia's military abandoning a strategic airport outside of Kyiv, which they captured on the first day of the war.
Don't trust the de-escalation a la Putin, because this would be words without deeds. And if Putin just regrouping.
The Pentagon announcing this week an additional $300 million in security assistance to Ukraine. The new package including equipment such as drones, armored vehicles, and ammunition. Germany has also approved the delivery of 56 combat tanks to Ukraine, according to the German Defense Ministry.
We are supporting also from Germany with weapons, but it's in Putin's hands because he is the one who started the war without any reason, and it's just now his responsibility to end the war.
I'm Cole Higgins reporting.
We take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Billy Miller served in the Navy during World War II in Japan and Korea. His hometown, Opolis, Kansas. And we're proud to recognize Billy Miller, tonight's four-state hero. And remember, to learn more about other heroes or nominate one of your own, you can do that anytime at KOAMNewsNow.com. Coming up, a battery drain problem on some Apple products being fixed through an upgrade.
Consumer Watch.
A battery drain problem on some Apple products is fixed through their latest, and I said this wrong if you were watching at 9, iOS upgrade. Okay, back in the 90s with the Mac OS, I always said MacOS, so whatever. The recent update in the iOS 15.4.1 promises to fix a battery draining bug which affected several users after they updated to the operating system. Apple's Twitter support noted that some battery drain was normal 48 hours after the installation. However, some customers still had problems with their devices 2 weeks later. It's not known how far the problem extended. Nevertheless, the upgrade also fixes some accessibility and adds new security. Uber might keep increasing its surcharges on customers to keep drivers from leaving. The company says it may have to do more to help struggling drivers by increasing their surcharges for fuel on the customers. Operators say the current fees aren't enough, and many are ready to quit during the inflationary period. Uber recently began a 45 or 55 cent per trip surcharge on rides and a 35 or 45 cent per order charge on Uber Eats to stave off high gas prices. Surcharges vary based on market gas costs. Company says it will continue to monitor gas prices and customer and driver feedback for further actions. 2 years after the pandemic took hold, leading to a loss of 22 million jobs, federal labor statistics released on Friday show the country is recovering. Hundreds of thousands of jobs were added in March, wages increased, and more Americans are returning to the office. Gloria Pazmino breaks down the numbers.
431,000 jobs added in March and unemployment down to a pandemic-era low of 3.6%. Two of the strongest signs that America's labor market is roaring back.
It means that our economy has gone from being on the mend to being on the move.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics released its report Friday showing a strong first quarter for the labor market. There was an average monthly gain of more than 500,000 jobs, making March the 15th straight month of strong job gains. A steady increase in consumer demand combined with a return to normalcy as coronavirus cases decline and restrictions are lifted helped fuel the job growth. Leisure and hospitality industries as well as retail and manufacturing all saw some of the biggest gains.
And that's good news for millions of families who have a little more breathing room and the dignity that comes from earning a paycheck.
The number of people working remotely also declined. And in good news for workers, wages increased by 5.6% over the past year. But despite the sunny outlook, there is cause for concern.
The concern is that with the invasion to Ukraine, how it's going to impact the global supply chain.
Recovery numbers are also a sign of post-pandemic era inflation, triggered in part by international events. While your paycheck may be increasing, everything else is getting more expensive. I'm Gloria Pazmino reporting.
Later on the news at 10, what made getting outside today so special?
Well, for us, it was certainly special with the mild temperatures today. We'll do it again tomorrow, but rain chances knocking on the door. Forecast next. After we had a brief little pass of rain late last night, early this morning, it was nice that Mother Nature was kind to us and kept skies quiet during the day. We're still looking good from Indigo Sky just outside of Seneca, Missouri. And that allowed temperatures to warm up nicely, certainly better than Friday after a very cold start in the upper 20s and lower 30s. We had lower 60s yesterday afternoon, upper 40s this morning, and not a bad rebound back into the mid 60s this afternoon. Again, that was a good rebound after we had this quick wave, as Doug advertised the other night. Bringing some showers, maybe a couple little rumbles of thunder, but this was quick to work in and quick to move out, so it didn't leave much behind in terms of rainfall. The southern parts of the viewing area, maybe you were lucky to get 1/10 of an inch on average out of that. But even though we cleared out fast today and enjoyed quiet skies here on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, we're set for more rain chances to start working in either by late tomorrow afternoon or certainly by this time tomorrow night. 51 in Joplin now with clear skies up top with a calm breeze. Humidity starting to climb back up, but not too terrible at 56%. We have upper 40s, lower 50s, no matter where you are, all across the board. So turning a bit cool as our breeze still remains pretty calm. But look at how it's more out of the east now. If you remember at 6 o'clock, we had a more northerly breeze, but that wind is changing because of a setup in our weather pattern here in the short term. We've got mainly an east breeze now, starting to turn more southeasterly across our parts of Kansas because this area of high pressure. As it moves along, that's what's changing that wind direction around. And eventually, as it moves on, that will allow the next cold front and even an upper level wave coming out of Montana to start heading our way. In the short term, though, the very short term, we're looking good for the overnight, mostly clear to start. Can't rule out some building cloud cover, though, especially in our western counties by the time we hit sunrise. But everybody turns pretty cool, mainly lower 40s all across the board. Then, despite mostly cloudy skies building in for tomorrow afternoon and maybe a couple of stray storms late in the day, I still think with a good south wind returning, we'll turn mild again and maybe a little bit warmer. 44 in the morning, 65 by noon, and a high of 71. I think we can do that with the south wind during the afternoon at 10 to 20, maybe some gusts near 25 at times. Now let me show you tomorrow evening. Here's 8 o'clock. The future track wants to depict a better chance for scattered rain and storms along the passing cold front. None of this looks severe, but it's still something I'll watch as we go through the course of our Sunday evening and Sunday night. Here's Monday, though. The system's slow to move along, so we're going to hold on to the clouds, some rain chances, and highs near 60 for Monday. So within that stretch alone, up until Tuesday morning, we could see anywhere from 1/4 of an inch to about 1 inch of rain. But in general, we've got yet another wave that'll come on in, give us some rain and storm chances, scattered in nature Tuesday night and Wednesday morning primarily. But look at how this is slow to move along, and look at how it's really carving some colder air almost to the Gulf Coast. I think any moisture by the middle of the week will be off to the east of us, but we're going to feel a bit of a chill by the end of this coming week. 71 tomorrow, 60 on Monday. Bouncing between the lower and upper 60s Tuesday and Wednesday, Chris. I have 40s and 50s for highs Thursday into next weekend, and we should watch Friday and Saturday morning. Lower to middle 30s. That could be a frosty start for some.
We definitely want to, like you mentioned earlier, we want to keep an eye on the plants. If you've done any planting or you got any that are blooming, now's a good time. Just watch the forecast very closely.
Yeah, because if those numbers hold firm, you'll want to either bring them in or cover them up, but we've got plenty of time to watch it still.
Absolutely, Nick. Thank you so much. Journey Sports, Missouri Southern and Pitt State Baseball are celebrating some milestones this weekend.
The Lions aim to get a win today as they honor 50 years of Southern baseball. Plus, Pitt State head coach Bob Fornelli joins an elite group of Division II coaches. Those details and game highlights coming up. Pitt State baseball had a 4-game win streak snapped on Friday in their series opener against Central Oklahoma, but the Gorillas haven't dropped many MIAA games this season, boasting a 14-4 conference record. Pitt State back on the field today, aiming to even out the series with the Broncos. Pitt with a 1-run lead here, but Noah Olson singles through the gap. Jaden Parsons coming around from second, scores the tying run. That makes it 1-1. Jordan Maxson breaks the tie in the 6th. He crushes this ball to left, solo shot. Gorillas back on top. On the mound for PSU, Peyton Ingalls, still going in the 7th. He strikes out 5 today. Then Maxson back up in the 8th. He does it again. Solo home run, his 2nd of the day. Pitt State battles past Central Oklahoma 3-2. And head coach Bob Fornelli hits a huge milestone, earning his 1,000th career win.
It's a cool milestone, but we got to find a way to win tomorrow. You know, that's the only thing that matters. You know, it just means you're old, that you've been doing it for a while. It's cool some of the players from Fort Hays State and Emporia State were here today. You know, I think that's what we built our programs on, is trying to play the right way and playing hard and becoming a family, and hopefully we can do that at Pitt State. You know, I think we're headed in the right direction and have a chance to do something special here at Pitt State.
Missouri Southern took Game 1 from Fort Hays State 4-0 on Friday. Today, Southern posts another shutout. They win 10-0 after 7 innings. Henry Kuziak and Tommy Stevenson homer. Case Tucker drives in 3. And Logan Van Way, what an outing for him. He pitches all 7 innings and strikes out 14 batters. Pitt State softball has hit a bit of a rough patch. The Gorillas have a chance to get back on track today against Nebraska Kearney. In Game 1 of a doubleheader, Lopers on the board first. Haley Shaneman knocks it through. Carly Leash scores. Next inning, 2 on, 2 outs for Sydney Thomason. She gets all of this one over the fence, but it's recorded as a double. Thomason fails to touch third base, so she's out at third. The other 2 runners score. UNK leads 3-0. Gorillas get it going in the 3rd. Bases loaded. Paxton Hayes sends it out to center. Corey Stonestreet scores. Pitt still down by 2. Later, they have the bases loaded again, but this time the Lopers turn a double play to end the inning. Nebraska Kearney goes on to take Game 1 5-2. The Gorillas' struggles continue in Game 2. They fall 15-8. Paxton Hayes hits a 3-run home run, and Keela Griffith blasts a 2-run shot. Missouri Southern is coming off a pair of big wins on Friday. The Lions swept Nebraska Kearney, handing the Lopers their first 2 conference losses. Today, Southern hosts Hayes for 2 more conference games. Game 1 here, first inning, Ashlyn Williams gets a base hit to left. Adriana Young and Yasmin Vargas score. Later, Josie Topai takes off for second. She gets the steal. The Tigers' throw is off, so Vargas scores. And Topai going for home. She's called safe. Lions up 6-0. Adding to the lead here, Leighton Withers hits it by the third baseman. Vargas comes home. That's her 3rd run of the day. Southern rolls by Fort Hays 8-0. Southern completes the sweep, taking game 2 3-1. Withers goes 2 for 3 with an RBI double. Bailey Lacey gets the win in the circle. She strikes out 9 batters. The Lions have now won 4 in a row, improving to an 8-4 record in conference play. The Kansas Jayhawks hit the floor against Villanova in the Final Four today. Kansas earns a spot in the national championship game, beating Villanova 81-65. David McCormick scores a game-high 25 points. Ochai Agbaji adds 21. The Jayhawks are playing for the national championship for the first time since 2012. They're looking for their 4th title in program history. Kansas meets UNC in the title game after the Tar Heels beat Duke this evening. The game tips off at 8:20 on Monday. That's it for sports. Coming up, why if you got outside today, you were taking part in a special day.
Well, today was a beautiful day to grab your loved ones and go outside. It was National Play Outside Day. Now, the good news is, if you didn't get out earlier today, this day takes place on the first Saturday of every month, and it's encouraging kids, parents, and adults of all ages from around the country to go outside and do a fun activity. So, of course, again, if you didn't get out today, you can do it tomorrow because the weather is certainly going to be holding up for that.
Yeah, for much of the day, much of the area, the weather is going to be okay. We'll have increasing clouds ahead of our next storm system, so we'll hold off on any better rain and thunderstorm chances really until Sunday evening, but temperatures still mild tomorrow with highs near 71.
Nick, thank you. Danny, final check in sports.
I got outside today too. Pitt State baseball got the win today, and head coach Bob Fornelli reaches 1,000 career wins.
Not a bad record at all. Guys, thank you so much. That's our time for now. We'll be back here tomorrow night, and thanks for making us part of your night.